Hi guys, sorry. There's a lot of you. There's a lot of you in here.
I'm with the science team!
Hello Blood Moon Pack, and welcome to another stream. Soki was blue da.
Beat me.
Before being chibified by a pack member. And yes, Soki thighs are best thighs. Changed my mind short stack. Anyway, welcome in all. Make sure you get comfortable, grab a drink and snacks. Enjoy this deep dive and TH. Is stream, wub you all.
And TH, what? Why do you do that? The fuck?
If the apocalypse comes,
Luna.
beat me.
Hi. Okay, let's go to the right screen for this. Now that I'm no longer Chibi. Is ready to hear the lore on Slenderfuck, as I call him? For the longest time, I called him Slenderfuck because it was not my favorite thing, honestly. There's something unsettling about Slenderman that goes beyond horror. He doesn't scream, he doesn't chase, he doesn't even move most of the time. And yet, millions of people across the world have felt afraid of him. He has no face because he doesn't need one. Tonight, we're going to explore everything about Slenderman, where he came from, how his mythology formed, why he felt real, how he crossed into the real world, and why, even now, he hasn't disappeared. Grab your blankets, grab your snacks, turn off the lights, and let's get in to our deep dive. You guys got your snacks and your blankies? You guys will be fine. You're not children. Slenderman doesn't want you. It's okay. It's okay. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Slenderman didn't appear out of nowhere. Long before the internet, humanity feared tall, silent watchers. Across cultures, we see the tall man archetype. Forest spirits, faceless demons, shadow beings, entities that watch from the edge of vision. These figures represent the same fear, something that sees you when you don't see it. Slenderman didn't invent this fear, he modernized it. In June 2009, the Something Awful formed. A simple Photoshop contest. Create paranormal images that look real. Eric Knudsen, username Victor Surge, submitted 2 images. Children playing, a tall faceless figure lurking in the background. But what made them powerful were the captions. We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them. These weren't jump scares. They were documentation. That choice changed everything. Slenderman spread differently than any horror character before him. There was no author claiming ownership, no official canon, no movie trailer. Instead, there were fragments. Fake police reports, journal entries, photos, video clips, ARGs. Series like Marble Hornets never said this is Slenderman. They treated him like something discovered, not created. That blurred the line between fiction and reality. Thank you, Saibot. Over time, unspoken rules emerged. Appears in the background. Targets those who notice him. Okay, see, I lied to you. Don't notice him, chat. Don't notice him. Pretend he's not there. If you see him, no, you didn't. It'd be like in Appalachia. Causes memory loss and paranoia. Interferes with electronics. Does not chase. Does not explain. Does not need motivation. The biggest rule? The more attention you give him, the stronger he becomes. Oh my god, he's like a fairy. Oh my god, he's like Tinkerbell. Oh my god, he's like Tinkerbell. Anyway, this turns the audience into participants. You're not just watching a story, you're activating it. Ooh, you're activating it. Ooh. Ooh, that's creepy. Slenderman works because he exploits real psychological fears. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to pronounce this. Pareidolia? Pareidolia? I'm good at words. We all know this. It's great. That's our brains look for patterns, especially faces. The fear of being watched, a primal survival instinct. The loss of control. Slenderman doesn't attack, he corrupts. Pareidolia. Ah, thank you. I knew Duras would know. I knew that Duras would know. He reflects modern fears, surveillance, algorithms, being observed online. He's not a monster of the forest. He's a monster of the internet age. Why is the kid scary? He's just holding his hand. He's like got a face on, you know? Like he's looking at the picture like, I'm gonna get you. I am looking at her. She's not that scary. He's got no fucking face. Spooky. Children cannot be trusted. Slenderman, blink twice if you need help. When you think about Slenderman lore, you have those two kids who killed someone for Slenderman. So yeah, kids can be scary. Yep. We're gonna get into that too. We're going to get into that. I do want to talk about it because I think it's just honestly so insane. Like, what? And listen, I'm into true crime. There's a lot of true crime out there that is just like, huh? This one was out there. I was just like, please tell me that's not real. Pardon? What? Okay, in 2012, Slender the 8 Pages changed horror gaming. No weapons, no fighting, just collecting pages while being watched. The game trained players to fear looking back. Slenderman entered mainstream culture, but this had consequences. In 2014, a real-world crime forced everyone to stop and reevaluate Slenderman. This was no longer just an internet myth. It raised hard questions about belief, about mental health, about children online, about responsibility in storytelling. Slenderman wasn't real, but belief in him had real consequences. So, for those of you that don't know, although it sounds like a lot of you do, in 2014, two 12-year-olds, you guys can see this but kind of not because of the way I have it cropped, but there you go. Two 12-year-olds lured their friend, who was also 12, into a wooded area in Wisconsin where they attempted to kill and sacrifice her to Slenderman, a fictional supernatural being originating in Creepypasta. Their target was Peyton, who suffered 19 stab wounds, but survived after being rescued by a cyclist. So that girl wanted to live. I shit you not, that last stab wound was like a millimeter from opening her heart and causing her to die right there. And she crawled to somewhere where a cyclist saw her and got her to the hospital in enough time. So thank God she survived. But these girls, what the fuck? So anyway, so the two girls were Anissa and Morgan. And they say that they were motivated by their belief in Slenderman, and that they believed that killing their friend Peyton would appease him and prove his existence. Apparently, fucking Morgan escaped her group home and is going back to a mental institution in like November, and I had no idea. When I was looking it up today to make sure I had like the facts in front of me to tell you guys as we deep dived into this, I was like, why is everything like from November, December of last year? Like the fuck? They were tried as adults in 2017 And they were both found not guilty by reason of insanity. That fucking pisses me off, bro. Anissa was sentenced to 25 years and later released in 2021 to live with her father. And Morgan was sentenced to 40 years and was later released in 2025 to live in a group home to be kept under supervision until 2058. Yeah, they got off by reason of insanity. So obviously, then there was a public debate about the role of the internet in society, its effect on children, and the panic that it caused. Slender Man was, like, people were actually afraid of him after this. There was the stabbing inspired a documentary called Beware the Slender Man, which I think I actually watched. But, like, what the actual fuck? Morgan and Peyton were childhood best friends. Like, Morgan was her best friend. The fuck? Anyway, yikes. They would later befriend Anissa, who would become particularly closer to Morgan due to them living in the same apartment building and sharing an interest in Slender Man. Interrogators were told that Geyser and Weir's obsession with Slender Man began as early as September 2013, and that when Geyser was imprisoned, she claimed that her dad had committed multiple acts of SA against her for years prior to the attack, and that Anissa also claimed that she was neglected by her family. As their interest in Slender Man grew, they both believed the character was real and would hurt them and their families if they didn't offer him a sacrifice, and subsequently then planned to kill their friend to appease him and prove he was real. So essentially, we're going to go through this real quick. This is kind of true crime and a deep dive because it has to do with Slender Man. Essentially, they had a sleepover at some point, and she was supposed to, they went to a park, and they were going to kill her in the bathroom of the park, and then they decided not to. And then they were going to apparently kill her in her sleep, and they decided against that too. So this was very well planned. So this is what Peyton herself said on the subject of the attack. She said they wanted to go on a walk, and I didn't think much of it. It's just a walk. It's in, how do you say that name? Waukesha? Is it Waukesha, Wisconsin? I'm Canadian, I'm sorry. What bad stuff happens in Waukesha, Wisconsin? Anissa told me to lie on the ground and cover myself in sticks and leaves and stuff to hide, in a sense. But it was really just a trick to get me down there. I got up, grabbed a couple of trees for support, I think, and then I just walked until I hit a patch of grass where I could lie down. I couldn't focus much because my body was working so hard to keep itself alive. It was probably like, vision isn't really a priority right now. So they were playing hide and seek apparently in David's park, and she was pinned down by both girls, who stabbed her 19 times in the arms, legs, and torso with a 5-inch long blade. She suffered 2 stab wounds to major organs. One wound was very narrowly missed a major artery. Another went through her diaphragm, cutting into her liver and stomach. Oh, see, I missed this part. So, following the attack, they told her to lie down while they sought help, which they did not do. Obviously, she dragged herself to a nearby road where she was found, and she was in hospital for 7 days and returned to school in September. In 2019, she reported lingering trauma from the attack and says that she sleeps with broken scissors out of fear of being attacked again. Yeah, friends, what the fuck? 5 hours later, they found the 2 girls at a furniture store. I don't know how to say that. Steinhoffel's. Approximately 4.9... I'm good at words. 4.9 miles from where they attacked their friend. Found the knife they had in the bag they were carrying, and the children said they were traveling to, I can't say that, National Forest, where they were apprehended in order to meet Slenderman at his home, which they called Slender Mansion. So she's literally, this is from Anissa's notebook, and especially the top two look like they're pages from the game, the 8 pages. Like they look like these would be pages you pick up in that game. He still sees you. You are strange child. It will be of my use. He cannot be harmed, is what they say. Geyser's Morgan, okay? So the one that like orchestrated all this, and Anissa kind of just went along with it. But after her arrest, her mom described her as becoming floridly psychotic. Correctional officers reported that she frequently talked to herself, pretended to be a cat, and kept ants as pets. She reported seeing unicorns and having ongoing conversations with Slender Man and other fictional creatures such as Severus Snape, Lord Voldemort, and one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So she was relocated to the Winnebago Mental Institute and was studied there for competency to stand trial. She was diagnosed in 2014 in October with early onset childhood schizophrenia. Her treatment for schizophrenia was erratic and inadequate for 20 months, which is believed to have exacerbated the psychosis and delusions. In 2015, she began a consistent long-term regimen of antipsychotics, which ended the display of feelings of guilt and remorse towards the crime. In 2016, she was returned to the county jail to await trial. Although still appropriately medicated, Geyser's mental health further deteriorated, linked to stressors of forced confinement and incarceration. During the trial, she was returned to the institute. Weir was charged with attempted second-degree homicide, a Class B felony. She pleaded guilty to being a party to attempted second-hand degree homicide. The jury found her not guilty by mental disease or defect. Jesus Christ. She was sentenced to 25 years, an indeterminate sentence requiring at least 3 years confinement and involuntary treatment in a state forensic psychiatric institute, followed by communal supervision until age 37. Morgan was charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide, a Class A felony. She accepted a plea offer that stipulated she would not undergo a trial if she pleaded guilty, and agreed to further psychiatric evaluation to determine appropriate duration of commitment to a forensic psychiatric hospital. She pleaded guilty in accordance to the plea agreement, but was also found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect due to her diagnosis of early onset schizophrenia by court-appointed psychiatrists. She was given the maximum sentence, 40 years confinement in a state forensic psychiatric institute. At a hearing on March 10th of 2021, Anissa submitted a letter to the court saying she was sorry and deeply regretful for the agony, pain, and fear she has caused, not just to Peyton, but to her community as well. She said, "I hate my actions from May 31st, 2014, and through countless hours of therapy, I no longer hate myself for them." They ordered her release from the institute and gave officials 60 days to draft a constitutional release plan, and required that Weir be assigned case managers to supervise her progress until she is 37 years old, the length of her commitment. So she still has a GPS ankle monitoring. Her internet use is restricted and monitored, and she's not allowed to use any form of social media. Good. She is required to live with her father under the supervision of the court. At this time last year, Morgan came out as a transgender man. She went to this group home at around 8 a.m. on November 23rd, 2025. A 911 call alerted the Madison Police Department that Geyser had disappeared from the Madison home. According to police, she cut off her Department of Corrections monitored bracelet and left the previous evening. She had been last seen at 8 p.m. the previous evening alongside a trans woman. The following day, local police in Posen, Illinois, found Geyser and her acquaintance sleeping outside a Thornton's gas station along Interstate 57. They initially identified themselves as Stephanie Grise and Charles M. Robertson, respectively, but later gave their legal names after being pressured. So she befriended this person at church and said she was being mistreated, snuck in to see her, and they developed a plan to escape to Nashville. But then they ran out of money and stopped at Thornton's to sleep for the night. The acquaintance was charged with criminal trespassing and obstructing identification, but was released from custody. Both Geyser and the acquaintance are expecting a court hearing. Good! Ran because of me, and at the end of the day, I followed what I thought was right. I stand by it. The fuck? So after that, the school district of Waukesha, I hope I'm saying that right, blocked access to the Creepypasta wiki, a website which houses the bulk of Slender Man lore, and the creator released a statement of condolence. I'm deeply saddened by the tragedy in Wisconsin, and my heart goes out to the families of those affected in this terrible act, because obviously he has nothing to do with that. Absolutely fucking crazy. Sloshed Train, a former Creepypasta wiki administrator, said the stabbing was an isolated incident which did not represent the community. He also said that the wiki is a literary website and its community does not condone murder or satanic rituals. A statement was also placed on the wiki saying that Slenderman and the horror writings were not to blame for the attack. And on June 13th/14th, 2014, community members held a 24-hour YouTube live stream to raise money for Peyton. That's nice of them. No matter what, Morgan needs to be locked up. Like, Morgan's not okay. Anissa has straight up been like, yep, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I fucked up. That was terrible of me. Like, whatever. Morgan, on the other hand, yeah. Anyway, so then Peyton, who's the girl that was attacked, in 2019 said that she doesn't think about much of her scars and they will probably go away and fade eventually. She described meeting and befriending Geyser in 4th grade to help her feel less alone, and that Anissa, whom Geyser introduced to Peyton, had seemed jealous of their friendship. When asked what she would say if she ever saw Geyser again, Peyton said she would thank her because the attack inspired her to pursue a career in medicine. Aw. Peyton said her hope was to put everything behind her and live her life normally. So fucking good for Peyton. Obviously, this has now made a debate on the effect that the internet has on children. And an FBI agent said the internet has become a black hole that risks exposing children to a more sinister world. He suggests that parents should monitor their children's internet use and educate them on the differences between right and wrong, and probably fucking real and not real. Like, come on people, come on. A assistant professor of mass media arts at the University of Georgia described Creepypasta as no more dangerous than stories about vampires or zombies, and that Creepypasta websites are beneficial as creative writing communities. Not saying they're not beneficial, however, maybe don't let your teach your children what's real and what's not real. You can be a creative writer or read creative writings and not try to murder your best friend. So she went and cut her friggin' ankle bracelet off and escaped. I can't even, how did she get out? Like, what? Anyway. Here, look at creepy Slender Man again. Think children in general should not have access to social media and the like. By and large, is a cesspool that they do not need to interact with. Exactly. There's too many creeps online. There's too many. It's why I'm 18 plus. Like, I'm not 18 plus just because of that. I talk about dark topics. We play horror games. We talk about that kind of stuff. So, but it's like, I think if you're letting your children online, that you should be teaching them what's right and wrong, what's real and not real, how to tell the difference. Like, do your bloody research. Teach them how to research properly. because you can say you can research, but doesn't mean you know how to properly. Anyway, getting back into Slenderman, I don't wanna go too far off topic here, but the internet's just, you really gotta learn what to take with a grain of salt and what to ignore altogether, and you know, you do you, boo. After 2014, Slenderman faded. Creators labeled content clearly as fiction. ARGs became rarer. The mystery dissolved. Hollywood adaptations failed because once explained, he loses power. You can't overexpose a shadow. And yet, he never truly left. Slenderman became a template. You can see his DNA in modern ARG horror, analog horror, liminal space videos, backrooms content, found footage TikToks. He taught the internet how to scare itself. That's fucking true. That is fucking true. Folklore used to spread by word of mouth. Now it spreads by repost. Slenderman fits every definition of folklore. Anonymous origin, evolving mythology, communal authorship, moral panic, belief without proof. He is the first true digital myth. Slenderman doesn't exist, but fear does. And stories don't need to be real to change how we think. So if you ever feel something is watching you from the corner of the screen, remember the scariest part isn't Slenderman. It's how easy we believe.